Hello and welcome, folks. It is me, a right-time Tenderine, or Bob the Bull, Bob the Bull Hurley for today. And of course, with me is Alan or Lincoln Hawk. Why the over-the-top reference, Alan?
Why?
What is this all about?
Why? Why? How can you ask me why? Why? Because I love Stallone. I love Terry Funk, who was in this film. Yeah, if you're a little confused as why we posted some images using the classic Sylvester Stallone film from the 80s, which was a canon film, the infamous studio from that period that made a lot of schlock, and this definitely counts as it. The reason is because Over the Top is a heartfelt story of Lincoln Hawk, played by Sylvester Stallone, trying to not only reconnect with his young son. Um, it's also about him trying to win the World Arm Wrestling Championship at Las Vegas, so he can get a new truck, get prize money, and become a independent man. And of course, the trials and tribulations that goes into that film. Yeah, it's not a good film. It's a canon film. It's pretty much, if you like Sylvester Stallone, you probably will like this film. But yeah, let's come back to the obvious. This is
That,
our card preview. And
that's
why did I
right.
choose it?
Let's bring it up right now. So what you're trying to tell me is that Sylvester Stallone had to out-muscle the competition?
Oh, he did. He did all the way to the top. He
All
went,
right,
in fact, over the top.
and here we are, out muscle, our preview card. Sometimes you need to remind everyone who is the strongest. Out muscle is an arm wrestle on the combat chain, introducing attack actions that show being the most powerful in combat matters. And of course, here we are. This is the red pitch. This is a red card. So it is red pitch. It costs 3. It's got a 6 attack. It's got a 2 defense. But most importantly, it has a pretty neat skill, and that is, while out muscle isn't defended by a card with equal or greater attack, it has go again. So this is very interesting. So this
Yeah.
means that if you're not like just vanilla, if you play out muscle, if your opponent doesn't defend with a 6 or higher attack card, you're going to have go again. However, here's where the trickiness comes in. This is constantly checking what the attack value of the card is compared to the defense value of your opponent's card. So straight off the bat, the thought process is you can front load out muscle. You can drop for 0. I mean, it's costly. It does cost 3, so that is a blue cost to pay for it. But if you're running Goliath Gauntlet, you can drop Goliath Gauntlet down. Give this out muscle +2, so that's now coming in for 8. So your opponent has to block with an 8 attack, a card with 8 attack or higher to stop you from getting go again, which is very, very powerful. I mean, and that's if you want to front load it. You can also use like come to fight, the come to fight line. Of course, that's now starting to cost you like 4 resources. But if you're running this in a deck that has an amount of blue, you pitch 2 blue. You can play out muscle, a come to fight, and then follow it up with like a command and conquer. If you're running it in a brute class like my boy Reiner out here, you could lead out with this, a come to fight. This coming in for 9, go again into a pack hunt, something like that. I mean, this is very versatile. What are your thoughts on it, Alan?
Well, it's super interesting because it is a really interesting rare. Because one of the things is like with the fact that it seems to be always checking. I think this is a much more complex card. And I've realized just today looking at this card, it's actually a lot more complex than I thought. It's like always checking. And actually, one of the things before we go any further is that looking forward to the full release notes, so we can check out this card in particular, because I think it certainly has some more depth. But it's just fascinating. It's
You should,
it's well balanced.
as Alan said, you should always check out the release notes.
Yeah.
Like they are absolutely important whenever a
Yeah.
new set comes out, and
Yeah.
the dev team puts a lot of time and effort into putting those release notes out.
Yeah, literally 99% of all rules questions can be fixed up by reading the release notes. Yeah, they're fairly extensive. I'm looking forward to seeing what they are for this card. But yeah, it's I do love the art because it does seem interesting because you've got the one big bully on it, and then you've got the kind of masked character. It's got the eye patch and all that, seemingly completely outmuscling the big man, which is much like the movie where the final hurdle that Lincoln Hawk has to go through is to beat the current 5-time world champion Bob, and a guy that gets the nickname of the Bull, and he is a big, sweaty, massive man. This is the same thing going on right here. So maybe
I do
James is actually a Stallone fan.
I do like the flavor text. Let's see if them muscles as big as that mouth.
Yeah, Jackdaw. Who is Jackdaw? Got to find out that.
Well, yeah, Jackdaw.
But just as simple, I think this could be quite a confusing card. I think people also get mistakes because they look at that text and what if you're defending with a card like an actual block, that doesn't actually stop it. If you're a card with a defense reaction like unmovable, yes, like if you have like a red or yellow unmovable, this is going to stop it, but it's not going to prevent the go again. I think it's a powerful card. It does have some drawbacks. Obviously, the 2 defense on it is pretty minimal, and the cost I think is fair.
Very similar to something like if we look back at Welcome to Wraith, like a Demolition Crew, 6 attack, 2 defense, get dominate. So you're definitely paying for the ability with that loss of defense. But in saying that, we have seen cards that can help you boost defense. But again, this is a really interesting card for certain matchups because, you think about it. You think about if you're playing against Guardian, for instance, and they've got the the Spinal Crushes, and Crippling Crush and stuff like that. You can actually use this to bait them out to try and get them to block with a card that they want to attack with to stop you from getting go again. And then that way you don't have to deal with the Crippling Crush next turn. Like for instance, they showtime, they go get their Crippling Crush. If they haven't arsenaled it, the next turn you play Out Muscle, and they're like, could use this to block to stop to help stop the 6 damage. Because if I don't stop the 6 damage, they're going to come in, they're going to swing with their weapon. They're going to, maybe swing with another 1 or 2 attacks. I mean, who knows? A perfect setup for this is you go without muscle, and then you follow it up with an E-strike for 7. All of a sudden, you've swung for 13 in a turn. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well, with a full card hand, or even a 3-card hand. This into if you're playing brute, this into your club is at the minimum is going to be 10 damage. So yeah, just giving a big attack like this go again. It's conditional, but again, best friends are going to be pummel and lunging press. If you don't have
lunging press. Exactly. Yeah. This could be the deck this could be the card that sees lunging press come back into consideration, because of course pummel is very expensive. You're already paying 3 for this. If you then pay another 2 on top for pummel, you're going to have very few resources to swing again afterwards. That being said, a lunging press for free. As I said, Goliath Gauntlet front loaded for free. As I was saying, 2 blues can get you come to fight. Actually, thinking about it, Plunder Run into this becomes really, really annoying for your opponent, because all of a sudden, if it hits, it's going to draw off a Plunder Run. It's going to get go again if you're not. You're probably not going to have a 9 attack unless you're a Guardian, or something else that we haven't seen yet. So I think this is and I think this, and that's just in constructed. This, I think, is going to be a really great card in sealed and draft, because the likelihood of having something, if you can give this even just one, +1 buff like it, this is going to be really hard to stop getting go again in sealed and draft.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to throw a good high attack card, but of course, that high attack card may only be blocking in itself for 2 or 3. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to throw away more cards, and
Yeah.
a defense reaction is not going to stop it from going again. So I
Yeah.
think
I
one
mean, it'll
thing to
stop the
look out for,
damage. It'll stop the damage,
another go again.
but yeah. So this isn't a really interesting card because while on the face it looks like it's it's an aggressive card to pressure their health. What this card is really actually doing is pressuring their hand more than anything. Because you're either going to have to double block it to stop the damage going through, plus it's going to go again, so you're only going to have two more to block with, or you're going to have to go, I'm going to have to leak some damage here so I can hold on to cards to block whatever is coming up the back of this. I mean, and that's the other thing. This makes it really interesting too. In something like a brute or something else that doesn't normally get go again, or is dependent on something like a scabs and leathers or something to get go again. What this means is that all of a sudden you can bluff people into be like, oh, I'm either going to have to leak some damage here, or I'm going to block with 2 cards, and then you just follow it up. You get going. You just follow it up, and you put your potion out. You put out a energy potion. You put out a potion of strength, and then all of a sudden they've blocked badly, and they've only got 2 cards coming back, and you're set up for the next turn. I think the utility of this card is definitely something that we're going to see. I definitely see this being played in classic constructive. Perhaps getting 2 defense is tough, but I definitely think it's going to play some probably in blitz as well.
Yeah, well, one of the main things I just think is this is a card that you need to actually read properly, because you going through all those situations. I think also this is a card that you could actually gain, you could gain some value when people don't block correctly or misunderstand it. So, I mean, any card like this, I have read it a number of times and just running it back through my head. It's very easy to make mistakes when it's equal or greater, and and because the card is always checking, it doesn't gain go again. It has go again, which is very, very interesting. But I mean, again, as we mentioned, looking forward to a release note so you can get kind of like if there's anything we missed on this card. But yeah, I love it. Obviously, again, a quick mention is that as a rare, it does have a yellow and blue version. So the yellow version pitches for 2 and is attack 5, and the blue version is obviously an attack 4. So I'm not sure if the yellow or blue versions will see play.
Well, even that, the blue version's actually really interesting as well, because 4 is a really awkward number. Like if you're a ninja or something, 4 is an awkward number to have a card over 4 attack without giving up a big threat. When you think about it like that, I mean, it's gonna get threats if people are gonna want to block to stop you from getting go again, they're gonna have to use their threats to block with. So I think this is a very interesting game. I think it's probably a little bit more cerebral than to get the most out of it than it looks very arbitrary card, but I think the actual to get best value out of it, it's going to be some very good deck builders and very clever players that really get the key.
Well, my thing is it's not just the card should not just be outmuscle. I really think a card should be outthink. And outmuscle because some attacks in this game are just big obvious attacks, and this has some guile to it, and so I wouldn't pass up on this. Obviously we we love it because it's our spoiler. We didn't get a brute spoiler this time, but I feel like this card certainly
kind of
has.
did. It's a 6 attack.
Yeah.
I mean, my boy Rhino's probably going to be playing it.
Yeah, exactly, and one of the things is this is also going to be a great pick and draft, because the beauty of this is I'm not going to mention anything about drafting this set because me and Ian have had some kind of privy information to it, but when I've been drafting any other set previously, one of the first things I like to do is try and pick the nice generic option, because like going straight into a class could be dangerous. The person beside you opens a legendary and they're like, bang, I'm into that class. Picking something like this, a red outmuscle, I think is a great pick. It's just a good attack, because in limited, I don't think.
In limited, 6
why would you?
Is good. right?
Yeah,
It's
why would you not play this? I mean, yeah, three is a lot, but
yeah.
I don't see any downside, and a lot of upside if you
Yeah,
get your hand right.
especially if you look at, like, for instance, a lot of the brute cards that have been spoiled have no defense. So two defense is actually not is actually
Mm.
better than a lot of your play. Like if you decided to go into Levia, yeah, like two defense, you're like, actually that's great. That's better than half my other like half my on class attacks.
Yeah, but there is one other major question about this card, and hopefully we'll hear the answer shortly. Is where does it register on the Jordan scale? Is
Oh
it good
yeah.
or does it suck?
Oh
You
wow.
know, we'll have to see. I mean, I like the Jordan scale because it's very black and white. You know, we find out one or the other. So yeah, depending what Jordan says, will obviously break this card for future generations. So hopefully Jordan's on board with us if it's good. But yeah, I really love this card already. Not just because it's a spoiler. I think it's got a place. It's interesting, and yeah, I don't see it down. This card is cool. It's a thinking man's card, but doesn't appear to be a thinking man's card.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Spoiler season, wow, it has been great. I mean, I'm already on board for Shadow Brute. You know, I mean, anyone
Yeah,
who knows me knows that that's probably the thing. We've still, I mean, I don't know what's coming out today. We've still got one more hero to come out, so I don't know if Alan has picked his poison for the next set yet. But uh, everyone, we just want to thank the community. We want to thank everyone who's been enjoying spoiler season. Thank, of course, LSS for letting us have another spoiler. We're always super grateful to be a part of spoiler season. It is super fun, and yeah, like let's see some discussion about it. Let's see what people think, and yeah, as always, we'll catch you next time, and wash your damn hands.
catch you later.